So I'm going to show you how I made an interactive slide deck for a student activity. So I went over here to choose slides. So I went to the waffle and I chose slides. And when your slides opens, you'll see a lot of templates that you can choose from that are pre-made, so you can follow along on those. And also there's a lot of people that have made wonderful templates in our district that could possibly share with you. So this is one that I was creating for this example. And I wanted to show you a couple of things that I did for this to make it interactive for the kids. So one of the things that I did was I went to page setup and I created the slides to look like a piece of paper. So you can see they don't look like rectangles, but they look more like pieces of paper. So I did that under the File Page Setup. So I went over here to File Page Setup and I changed the size to custom. I changed it to 8.5 by 11 so that it would look like a piece of paper. That's just one option. You can create any size that you want to. Other choices that you have is to format it to the screen that you're using, either a widescreen or a standard screen. The other thing I wanted to show you under File is that you can do a version history. So if you are doing a collaborative project, such as this project, you could have more than one student working on a document together, and then you could see the version history by seeing who has contributed to this document or this Google slide. You can also download your Google slide as a PowerPoint presentation or even a PDF. In this case, a PDF wouldn't be as effective because you wouldn't see the interactive pieces that I've included. So in this, I created a title slide that we would talk about as a group that I could present my screen. And so we're talking today about the plant kingdom and the animal kingdom. And then this would be my first example. What do you think? Is this an example from the plant kingdom or the animal kingdom? And asking students to participate in what they thought. You could also do a Jamboard where they discuss this as well for more examples. On my second slide is where it starts getting interactive. So this is a sort. Is it belong to the plant kingdom or the animal kingdom? And you can see I put some examples or pictures over here, which you could then drag into the boxes. That's just one example. Another example is that I used parts of a plant here. So this is called parts of a flower. So what I did was I actually looked for parts of a plant and then I used my snipping tool to grab a picture of it. I downloaded that picture and I put that into my background of my slide. So I actually went to my slide background. I changed my background. Since I had downloaded in my downloads, I then selected my background as this picture that I grabbed. And then I went here and I added text boxes and typed in the words that were down here so that this now makes it a click and drag activity where you can drag this into the parts. So where normally this would have been just a worksheet where the students would have cut and pasted, this is now an interactive activity where they can drag the words into the spots. These are just a couple of examples to make things a little bit more interactive with your students. If you were going to share this with your kids, you would make sure that they had an edited copy. So here I shared it with my other self, and I gave myself an edited copy. You can see that I have editor rights over here. With that, I can then I'm not the owner, but I can have editing rights over here. I can go into my other self so that I can edit this slide template and interact with it just as a student would. Then once I completed my slide work, I could attach it as my homework for my Google Classroom assignment. I will show you a little bit what's under the insert menu. You could actually create your own diagrams or graphic organizers here under the insert menu. You can add audio so that you could actually add voice instructions to your students so they could listen to it. I can add word art and some fancy words and things. I can also arrange so that I can layer my images on top of each other. So that's why I'd put this picture here in the background by ordering it. My tools that I find particularly useful is this Explore tool here. Explore tool helps me make my slide a little bit more presentable, and it a lot of times just shows up down here, but in case it doesn't for you, it's also under the tools menu so that it will give you hints, and it says build beautiful slides. It kind of helps you with that. Other things that you can do are making this slide a master slide. Right here, you can edit your master and your theme and your transitions so that you have master slides that if you're doing something for each of your units, it's already created in your master slide. I hope you have a great time with Google Slides. I have created a lot of templates for you and resources that are other great examples from our district staff. Thank you, everyone.